Hello everyone, and welcome to our application and scholarship webinar. It's my pleasure to welcome so many of you who are interested in getting to know more about studying at the University of Gothenburg. And my name is Matthias. I work at the university, and I'm joined today by three of our international students, Thelma, Juan Pablo, and Jesus. And we also have with us staff from the university working with admissions and scholarships and tuition fees. Today we will talk about how to apply to the university, where you can apply, and we will show you important deadlines and share with you the most important information that you should think of while preparing your application. We will also talk about tuition fees as well as scholarship opportunities and provide you with some useful tips for all the before mentioned topics. So, as I said, we will start off with a brief introduction to the University of Gothenburg. Should this be your first webinar with us or the first time you hear from us directly. And as I said, we will present to you the application process, talk about tuition fees, scholarship, and at the end, there will also be a Q&A session where you can ask questions, and both our staff and international students will be available to answer them. Please note that at the moment the chat function is disabled and that we won't be able to answer any of your questions before we start the Q&A. But once we do begin with the Q&A, you are very welcome to submit your questions in writing through the Q&A function. So for those of you that haven't attended any previous webinars or haven't gotten to know us that well yet, let me just start off with some information about Gothenburg and our university. So Gothenburg is the second biggest city in Sweden, which is the largest country in Scandinavia in Northern Europe. And Sweden, I'd say, is known for many things. For example, it's world famous brands like IKEA or Spotify or the Nobel Prize, but it's also known for its nature and efforts in sustainability and climate change awareness. The country also has a history in striving for equality, inclusivity, and offers many a great work-life balance, which in our case also translate into a great study-life balance. Gothenburg itself is home to around 1 million people in the city and its surrounding areas, and it's located in the heart of Scandinavia, but still close to many European hubs like London, Paris, Copenhagen, or Berlin. And Gothenburg is a vibrant and welcoming city on Sweden's west coast, where you find a unique combination of urban city life paired with easy access to stunning nature. And right there, in the middle of Scandinavia, in the city of Gothenburg, here we are at the University of Gothenburg. The university was first established in 1891, so it's more than 130 years old, as the Gothenburg University College, as it was called back then, and it has now turned into one of Sweden's most popular and one of Northern Europe's most comprehensive universities. Today, we're very proud to have a long tradition of internationally recognized research and groundbreaking achievements. And at the university, we like to embrace free thinking and collaborative environments where students and academic staff can come together and explore new perspectives together. Today, the university has around 54,000 students, making it one of Sweden's biggest universities, and around 10 to 15% of these are international students. We're also very well connected internationally, welcoming around 1,000 international exchange students every semester, and our alumni are also spread out through the world in over 80 different countries. For you as international students, we offer 9 different international programs on bachelor's level and around 80 international programs on master's level. So we are a multidisciplinary university, as the University of Gothenburg is home to one of the most comprehensive offerings of courses and programs in Sweden. So how can you apply to a program at the University of Gothenburg? Let's get straight to it. We will walk you through the application and admission timeline, and also talk a bit more about the application requirements. So here you can see the timeline leading up to the start of the autumn semester, in this case the autumn semester 2025. The international application round opens every year in October. This year it opened on October 15, which means that we are open for applications right now. To apply to the University of Gothenburg, you submit your application online through universityadmissions.se, which is the central platform to apply for university studies in Sweden. It's possible to apply for up to 4 master programs or up to 8 bachelor programs in your application. On universityadmissions.se, you create an account and then find and select the program or the programs that you want to apply for. And when creating and submitting an application, it is important to know that you must rank and prioritize the programs that you have selected, as you can only be admitted to 1 program. The deadline to submit your application is January 15th. It's also the deadline to rank your selection of programs if you intend to apply for multiple programs. After that, you have until February 3rd to submit your supporting documents for your application, which means all documents that you need to submit along with your application. And once you have submitted your application and your application documents, you will be notified about your admission result on March 27th if you have applied for master studies, or April 3rd if you have applied for bachelor studies. After then receiving your admission letter, you will receive more instructions on how to proceed in general, and if you need to pay tuition fees for your studies at the university, you will receive information on how to pay the first tuition fee installment, which will be due on May 1st. But more about tuition fees will also follow a little later on. Before the start of your first semester, you will receive information from the university and your department regarding the start of your individual program. And then in August, our welcome program will welcome you to the University of Gothenburg with lots of activities to get you started with studying at your new university. And the academic year will officially begin in September, and that will mark the beginning of your new academic journey. So let's talk more about entry requirements. The entry requirements to study at the university will determine your eligibility for our programs. There are different kinds of requirements, such as general entry requirements, English language requirements, and then there are program-specific requirements that depend on the program that you are applying for. If we talk about general requirements, for master's level, it means that you need to have a bachelor's degree from an internationally recognized university. If you are in the final year of your bachelor studies, it is still possible for you to apply and to be conditionally admitted, which means that you need to finish your bachelor's degree in time before your semester starts and hand in your degree certificates before you start your master's. If you are applying for a bachelor's program, you need to have successfully completed upper secondary or high school education. Very important, depending on what country you are from or what country you have previously studied in, there might be country-specific instructions on what documentation and what type of degrees and certification is accepted for your application. And you will be able to find detailed information on this, including an extensive list of countries on universityadmissions.se. And in order to be eligible for studies at the university, you also need to meet certain English language requirements. And there are different ways to meet these requirements. That could be through certain upper secondary studies. For example, if you've studied high school in a specific country, or if you've studied English in high school on a certain level, then you can also demonstrate your English skills through certain previous university studies. For example, a degree where English was the main subject, or a degree from a specific country, or with a certain amount of credits that were given in English. And then a third option would be to meet the English language requirements through an internationally recognized English test. And you can see some example of test scores requirements here on the screen. And here again, it's very important to note that there's country-specific information on universityadmissions.se on how you can meet the English language requirement through, for example, studies in your country of origin or countries that you have previously studied in. So after now having gone through the general requirements as well as the English language requirements, then there are also requirements that depend on the program that you want to apply for. So the program-specific entry requirements are always listed on the program page on our website. And quite commonly, that could be a requirement that you have, for example, previous credits in a certain study area, that you have done a thesis, a degree project, or something similar with a certain amount of credits. It might also be that you have to submit certain documents that will be relevant for your admission, such as a CV, a statement of intent, or similar. So always make sure to check the program-specific requirements of your program of interest on our website. And what's also important to know is that if you apply for a program within the field of fine arts and music, there are also different application period dates and deadlines and different documentation requirements. So information about these deadlines, they can also be found on the specific program pages and on our website. So as I said before, you submit your application through university admissions. This is what the platform looks like, and here you can also find lots of information regarding documentation that you should submit, dates and important deadlines, as well as an overview of what applies for you who has previously studied in a specific country with your application documents. So who knows better how to navigate a university applications than those who have already done it? Our current international students have successfully applied to the university, and maybe they have some tips for you. So I invite you to kindly share your experiences with applying to the university. Who would like to go first?
I mean, I can. And the first one that I would say is make sure that you have take time to do everything, especially because you have until February 2nd or 3rd to submit the documents. And it's almost Christmas, it's almost end of year, and some countries they stop working, and especially universities. So if you're gonna request university transcripts, or if you need for some countries to translate some documents, they're not gonna do it during those times. So try to do it as soon as possible to avoid last minute issues with those kinds of paper. That would be my main advice that I would give you.
Yeah, great. Anything else that we have that we can share with our prospective students, our future students?
I think I can go second. I think in addition to what you have mentioned about making sure, can you hear me? Yeah.
Yep.
In making sure that always set reminders for the deadlines. Once you go on the admissions page, always make sure that you put reminders for the deadlines in your calendar. It helps better other than going back and forth to check the admissions page. And secondly, make sure that you tailor your application to your career goals. It's way easier, or it becomes easier when you know the direction that you want to go. And when you're ranking your program, And also, when you are writing a statement of purpose or statement of intent, wherever it is required. So, as Matthias already mentioned, that you always need to make sure that you go to the program website. So, always make sure that the statement of purpose is also guided by your career goals and what exactly you want to study in Sweden. So, it becomes way easier because the programs are many, but when your goals are highly when you have clearly listed your goals, it becomes easier to rank the courses and also to write your statement of purpose. That's what I wanted to add.
Well, I think I will just add maybe about ranking the programs. It's, I think, a key decision because many programs give the scholarships based on your ranking. So just your first option in many universities give you options to access many scholarships. So check that, check which city do you like better, check which program do you like better. Just be mindful about that decision. You can change that for a certain amount of time, so you have still time to think. But yeah, that's my first suggestion. And then, although universities have specific scholarships, there is the SI scholarship, but also you can check your specific country scholarships. I have one scholarship from my country, and I think that's very helpful to just maybe think a little bit out of the box and just check everywhere where's their scholarship. So yeah. And yeah, just check if there is any professor in the specific program that you would like to work with, so you take better decisions.
And also, in regards to Juan Pablo said, just like ranking the programs, try to find out or to like do your research about the program you want to study. And as a matter of like, I don't know, publicity right now, like at the student account, we're holding like student ambassadors takeovers. Some of them are studying the programs that you might want to study, or know someone that knows someone and can answer your questions. So don't be afraid to ask us on that page. Maybe not right now, but like on Instagram, it's more easier for us to ask, also because right now it's not only you that has questions regarding the admissions part. So the amount of emails that admissions must be receiving right now will be like a lot. So it might be easier if it's regarding to the specific program or something about student life that you want to know, to reach us on the Instagram so we can answer those questions to you easily if you want to.
Yeah, I think I also have one additional suggestion from what Jesus just said, and it's check the former students from your masters. Go to LinkedIn. I did that with like 2 or 3 students, and they helped me really to take my decision about which city I wanted to go to, which specialization I was more interested in. So check that as well. You maybe think that sometimes it's a bit weird, but worst case, you don't get an answer. So yeah, that's just trying, and you will get some information sometimes.
Yeah. Great. Thank
And
you.
to add-
Sorry, yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, and to add, I think on those two, also make sure that if you have any specific program request, there's always an email of a program coordinator on the page of a program that you're specifically looking into. So also make sure that you email them. They're very responsive if you have anything admission related on the particular program that you're applying for. But yes, of course, do reach out to those that you may find on LinkedIn. But mostly importantly, always make sure that you focus on the program coordinator's page as well.
Yes, great. Thank you for the tips and the advice. So maybe just to summarize, we would like to say, of course, focus or like keep track of the deadlines, make sure to hand everything in time, and have the time to organize your application, especially maybe over the holidays and so on. It might be, if you are still requiring some kind of document, it might be good to take care of that now. Be aware of the fact that if you apply for multiple programs, that you rank your programs according to your interests, and also make sure to maybe invest some research, do some research on your program. Like you said, you can look for students on LinkedIn. You can also, I will get to that later, talk to our ambassadors on multiple occasions to ask them if they study a program of your interest, maybe about some more information. So we're getting to the more financial aspect of this webinar, tuition fees and then also scholarships. The tuition fees, they vary for each program. You can see the exact tuition fees for each program on its program page on our website. As you can see here, the full education cost displayed on our website is the cost of the entire program. And the first payment is the cost of one semester. The amount is displayed in Swedish crowns, but you can just easily check exchange rates to your local currency with an online currency converter or with your bank. And it's important to know that in case you get admitted to one of your programs, you need to pay the tuition fee in time to secure your spot in the program. After you receive your admission results, payment instructions will be sent to the email address listed in your user account at universityadmissions.se. And fee-paying students must pay the first installment of the tuition fees by May 1st to secure their offer of admission. And approved means of payment are card payment by Visa or MasterCard or bank transfer. And of course, also important to know is that you are exempted from paying tuition fees if you are a EU or EEA citizen, including Iceland, Liechtenstein, and Norway. And if you are unsure whether you have to pay tuition fees or not, there is also detailed information on tuition fee exemptions available on the University Admissions website, as well as on the website of the University of Gothenburg. And if you do pay tuition fees, after your first tuition fee payment is registered, you can apply for a residence permit for studies in higher education with the Swedish Migration Agency. There are also a number of scholarships that can be applied for, and my colleague Janke will tell you more about them.
Yeah, hi, my name is Janke and I work with the scholarships at the University of Gothenburg. The main scholarship we have at the University of Gothenburg is the Axelade scholarship. It is a tuition fee waiver scholarship. That means that the scholarship pays for the whole program. We first pay the first installment, and if you are awarded with the scholarship, the tuition fees will be paid before the deadline of the tuition fees. That is good to know. There's a question we get many times. Our ambition is to award one student on each program, on each international program with this Axelade scholarship. There's a few exceptions. For example, a program that is online cannot receive the scholarship. And for example, there are several bachelor programs and we only award for 3 bachelor programs, and that is the software engineering, the international relations, and the business and economics. And for the programs in the faculty of art, the artistic faculty, in total for the master's program, we only award 4 scholarships, and that is because they have a much higher price. But in general, you can say that we have 1 scholarship per program. And when you are eligible to apply for this scholarship, if you choose a program at University of Gothenburg as your first choice, and you're only eligible for the program of your first choice. So even if you rank the first and the second program at the University of Gothenburg and you would not be admitted to the first program and admitted to the second program, you are not eligible in that case because you're only eligible for the program of your first choice. It's also important that you apply by the program before the 15th of January 2025 and not in the later application round. So it's very important that you're in the international application round. And you have to pay the application fees by the 3rd of February, because then you can be eligible. The application is that you will receive an email. So if you are eligible, you will receive an email on the email that you also admitted to university admission. So it's the same. It's very important that you keep an eye on that email, even if you don't maybe use it for other things. And then you will receive exactly instructions how to apply. And it's this application, you have to submit a CV and a letter of interest, why you want the scholarship and why you should be good for the program. This email will be sent out around the 11th of February. If you haven't received it on the 11th of February and you're a bit worried, check first the requirements if you're really eligible for the program, and otherwise check your spam, because sometimes the email comes there. And if it's not there, you can always send an email to scholarships at gu.se to ask why you didn't receive an email. And if we missed you, we will of course send an invitation to apply for this scholarship. We can go to the next slide, Matthias. Another scholarship, and I think Adam and Jesus also talked a little bit about this, is the SI scholarship for global professionals. This is a scholarship that around 150 students will receive in the whole of Sweden. And all the instructions is on their website. I can later on put a link in the chat. This scholarship is a very good scholarship because it pays not only for the tuition fees like the Accelerator does, but it also pays for the cost of living and transport to Sweden. So your flight tickets, it will also pay for. The eligible programs at the University of Gothenburg that you can apply for and still receive, apply also for the SI scholarship. You can find it on the website of the SI. And there's also a list of the 33 eligible countries. There's a little bit less than last year, so it's good to know that that is 33 countries this year. So if you come from those countries, you can apply for the scholarship if you also fulfill, of course, the other requirements. The application and the selection process is done by the SI, and it will come around in the end of April, but it will be before the last date of the deadline of the tuition fees payment. So that is also good to know because we get a lot of questions about that. Another important thing is also that you can apply for Accelerator scholarship and the SI scholarship. So you can apply for all these scholarships, but you can only be awarded with one scholarship. And of course, if you first are awarded, for example, with the Accelerator and later on you hear that you also are awarded with the SI scholarship, just send an email, then that's solved. So that is not a problem. So you don't have to feel you have to choose already. You choose when you receive both, if you would receive both scholarships. And that happens sometimes. New for this year, and that is also important, is that there are around 50 scholarships for SI scholarship pioneering women in STEM. And STEM is the programs that are in science, in technology, engineering, and mathematics. And it's a special scholarship only for women from 10 countries. And the countries, I can maybe quickly say it, it's the countries from Bangladesh, Indonesia, Kenya, Malaysia, Nigeria, Philippines, Rwanda, South Africa, Thailand, and Vietnam. Those women that's from those countries that apply for, for example, if it's for Gothenburg, in 5 programs, they can submit their interest to the SI scholarship. It's on the same page next to the other scholarship, so you can easily find it. And there you have to send your interest, and it doesn't have to be an application, because we look later on who applied at University of Gothenburg and who comes from these countries and who comes applied for these programs. And I will say the programs because it's also on the website. It will be the programs Marine Sciences, Digital Leadership, Chemistry, Mathematics, and Human-Centered Artificial Intelligence. Those are the programs at the University of Gothenburg. Gothenburg will receive 1 or 2 of these scholarships, and that's for all universities. Most universities will receive 1 or 2 of these STEM scholarships, or pioneering women in STEM. So that is also good information. You can take the next slide, Matthias. There are some, once you're an enrolled student, there are some minor scholarships you can apply for. For example, we have the Adlerbetska scholarship, and this is a scholarship if you will travel within your studies, for example, a field trip or maybe have a semester in another country. You can apply for a scholarship, and that is once a year in the autumn. You can apply for it. And this will help you with your cost for a field trip or the travel. It's 15,000 for students. There's also another scholarship, and that is called Hospitality Scholarship, and that is for all students that come to the University of Gothenburg and are guest students, will stay at least 3 months and will go back to their home country. It doesn't have to be right away, but later on. And that scholarship depends a bit. It can be around 4,000 or 5,000. There are also some other minor scholarships separate for every faculty. But once you're a student, you can see on the student portal which scholarships you can apply for.
Great, thank you, Janke. Our international students that are with us today also happen to be scholarship holders, both for the Axel Adler Scholarship as well as the SI Scholarship for Global Professionals, I believe. Do you have any tips for us for a successful scholarship application or any other useful information that you want to share? And maybe you can also tell us what scholarship you are holding. Jesus, would you like to start?
Yes, so I currently hold the SI scholarship, and my best advice again will be timing. Just don't let like everything for last minute, because everyone will do it, and don't be me, because like especially that page, the last day it will crash, and it will crash so many times that you cannot imagine. So if you can do that, like that application in advance, that's also good. And also when it comes to the SI scholarship, my best advice will be always like know yourself, know what you have done, and know which SDG, which is the Sustainable Development Goal, you are working towards. It's not like, oh yeah, I want to do this and I want to do that and I want to do this and this, like from every way. No, just focus on one and try to aim that, and say how everything you have done, how everything you have studied, and how what will you do at the University of Gothenburg will help you to get that or towards that goal. That will be my main thing. And also claiming back what Juan Pablo said like last time, also have a plan B. If it does not work out, try to search for other scholarships in your home country, in like at the university, but just always have a plan B. That's also good.
Yeah, great. Juan Pablo, what scholarship do you hold, and do you have anything you can share with us about application tips?
Yeah, so I have the Axel Adler Scholarship, and I think for the application, just be checking your email. I think we all get the email, all the internationals get an email advising for asking for the application. So just think what in your program is like maybe something that you can do later in life that you can just describe better. It's a short essay, I think, so it's not really like, don't think that it's just a big thing that just the people with like the highest IQ will get. Just think about what you have done, how it can help. I think sometimes we are too hard on ourselves, so just don't be too hard and think that you can get it. And I also have a scholarship from my own country. I have a Col Futuro from Colombia. So then, just think outside the box. As Jesus said, just look for different scholarships, and that will be my advice.
Yes, right. Yeah, Thelma, what scholarship do you hold, and how was your experience with applying for it? I believe you're muted.
Yeah.
now?
I am on the SI scholarship, and I also got the Axel Adler, but I opted for the SI scholarship. But one advice that I can also get, apart from just building up on what everybody has said about impact, how you can show your impact, make sure that you're really crafted in a way that actually proves that you're either a leader or you're actually taking part. And that's in both for the SI and also the Axel Adler. And at the same time, also do obtain strong references, because sometimes you need to have someone who knows your work and who knows that you need to upgrade your education for the sake of to continue the impact that you're already doing. So also make sure that you do it timely and you obtain strong references earlier, as Jesus has also mentioned, to do everything earlier, but also make sure that it's not just early, but make sure you get quality references and you get a quality application as well. Yeah. Thank you, and over.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so thank you for your tips. So maybe we can just summarize again that, as always, it's very important, of course, to think of your time management when you apply for anything, be it a program or a scholarship. Think ahead in time. Get your application documents ready in time, and if you have to write a statement of intent or a cover letter or an essay, think about your interests and strengths and also your ambitions and how you can truly contribute to your goals. And also make sure to have a plan B in case your search for a scholarship doesn't work out, or maybe do a little research on scholarships that are offered by countries that you have studied in or your country of origin. Great. So thank you all for your time and take care.